There's a snake in my boot.
To infinity and beyond!
I tried so hard being serious. And welcome back to another episode of Crips and Corks. I'm your host, DJ, and I have seen the Epstein list, along with my co-host,
Paul, Martha Stewart's step-in wig for when she's tired of her regular one.
You're her wig?
Yes.
Oh.
The good one, the step-in one, for like special occasions.
Oh, okay. I once read a murder mystery where everything hinged on wigs.
In that murder mystery,
Yeah.
this summer I turned pretty.
Exactly. Which I'm sure that has something to do with either your blessing or your curse, so why don't you get into it?
Well, first, let's address the elephant in the room, okay?
There's an elephant in the room?
Our Halloween costumes.
Oh, I guess we do have to say that for the people who only listen on audio.
Yes, and I feel like our Halloween costumes like perfectly encapsulate how gay people dress for Halloween. Some people do camp and the other are just sluts. And I'm the slutty football player and you're the campy
Cowboy.
Yes. Very Toy Story, very on brand for
That's
our
because
opening.
this is a literal Toy Story Woody costume. It is a onesie. Mm-hmm. It is a onesie with everything attached, so all I had to do was do up the back.
And that's okay. That's okay.
And the hat is huge. Like, I feel like it's gonna just like fall off my head.
It is a big hat, but you know you can
No,
take it
like,
off.
like I can probably fit my entire hand like between the side of my head and like the crown. Like, feel that. Like, put it on.
Oh my gosh, it is a big hat. Olay, as they say.
Oh my god, no! But anyways, yeah, so those are our costumes. Once again, my costume is on theme, as those of you know who are listening to this, and Paul knows too, so I guess it's not as fun as before I told you what I was covering.
Yeah. So, this is our last Halloween episode.
Well,
So we won't be in costume next week, unfortunately. So
I'm kind of glad. I'm tired of spending money on costumes.
Right, costumes are expensive. We have to buy like 8 Halloween costumes for this shit. It's crazy.
I know.
But I'm gonna be sad when spooky time's over.
Yeah.
It's the time when we reign supreme. So enjoy it while it lasts, kids, and make spooky. Make the year spooky however you can all year round. You know, don't let it die in October because you can be spooky all year round. Take it from us.
Yeah.
Now, my blessing and curse are kind of the same thing this week. So, Charlie Puth released a new song, yes.
Right.
And it's a great song, love it, love everything he does, because I'm a Charlie stan. But he said that the freaking album doesn't come out till March. Why are you gonna, announce an album 5 goddamn months in advance, Charlie? We don't need to know that shit
They
until...
always do this.
No, they don't. I mean, 2 months in advance, I get. That's what the big names do. But 5 months in advance, bitch, what do you need 5 months for? Okay. Give us the album, Charlie. I've been saying this on the podcast for years. Give us the album. And that's my curse, is that the album doesn't come out until freaking March. And you know what he's doing? He's on that goddamn Tik Tok Live, playing his little keyboard for all of his little friends in Los Angeles. I'm clocking you, Charlie. You need to get to work and release this album in January or something. Or don't announce it until it's gonna be out in 2 months. Okay, we can't be waiting this long. This is crazy. It's craziness.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of singers, they announce an album and they release a single, and then you just have these 2 singles, and then the album comes out and there's the only 2 good songs on the album.
Well, yes, that has been the prototype for the industry for the longest time.
Yeah,
but...
I'm looking at you, Dua Lipa.
Oh. Okay, you're not wrong.
Her last album, it came out And everyone's like, the album was released, and I was like, oh, thank God. And I started listening to it, and I was like, this shit's been out forever.
Right. Yeah.
Only 2 good songs, and all the other songs sounded exactly like the 2 good songs.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in you. But you did redeem yourself by the song you did for the Barbie movie.
Yeah, Radical Optimism was a choice. Not a good one, but hey, girl, pop off, I guess.
Was that your blessing and your curse?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
What's yours?
Blessing. I'm sure I have one.
Where is the professionality?
My blessing was supposed to be that we're finally like into fall weather, but then like we woke up today and it was hot.
It's not hot outside today. It's perfectly fall,
it's
bitch.
It's 75 out there.
Girl,
that's
it doesn't
not
feel
fall.
like it because I'm cold as shit right now.
Yeah, your apartment is comfortable, but walk outside.
Girl, that's crazy. Global
it's
warming.
hot. It is hot. That global warming has got us. My curse is I woke up really pissed off at you today.
Why?
Because I had a dream that you... So, for those of you who don't know, the Conjuring house has been foreclosed upon. I had a dream that you bought it.
Okay.
And you and I were doing, like, a walkthrough of the house because you're like, oh, we're going to investigate and we're going to, like, get so much content out of this. And there's, like, you know those attic doors, like, in the ceiling where you, like, pull the cord and, like, it comes down on the stairs? You're like, oh... Like, I haven't seen this before. And you opened it, and a bunch of flies and moths flew at my face. And it scared me so much in my dream that I woke up pissed off thinking you actually bought the Conjuring house and that you opened a door you shouldn't have opened, and then I got a bunch of bugs in my face. Which is pretty accurate for our relationship. Except you buying a house.
You bitch!
I only say that because have you ever bought a house?
No, I've never bought a house. I hope it's not unrealistic that I would buy a house.
I mean, it wasn't unrealistic that you bought a house because I could very much see you like just be like, you know what? I want to buy a house. I'm going to buy this haunted house, and then open a door that you're not supposed to open.
Girl, I'm scared of no doors, okay? If I can open something, I'll close it and it'll be fine, okay? I've studied enough magics.
Yeah, you didn't get a mouthful of flies and moths.
Girl, it was a fucking dream, okay?
I know, I'm not pissed at you anymore.
Oh my god. It's giving that, like, weird relationship where the girlfriend has a dream that the boyfriend did something bad and she's mad at him for it. And it's like, bitch, shut up. It was a dream.
It's okay. I get mad at Rose every time I dream that she pushed me down a flight of stairs, too.
Wait, say that one more time?
I get mad at my grandmother every time I have a dream she pushes me down a flight of stairs too, and I tell her about it the next morning.
It's just a dream. Girl.
I've had that dream so many times that I'm just waiting for the day where I'm standing at the top of a staircase and she just goes behind me and...
Girl, do us all a favor, Rose. Get to pushing. Now, Pop Culture Corner. Pop Culture Corner today.
Jesus.
I do want to briefly address the Dan and Phil situation, because I'm a little confused. Do you know Dan and Phil?
Yeah, why are you confused?
So, I guess they, like, announced this week or the week before that they're in a relationship, but I could have swore they announced that, like, 3 years ago.
No, they came out as queer. Years ago.
I could have swore 3 years ago or something that they came out that it was dating and we were all just living under the known fact that they were plowing and dating and things for all those years. I think
we just assumed. I think they announced and we just all assumed that they were.
Right, and they didn't have to say anything because, like you said, we all assumed. Like, I just thought they were dating. Like,
well, I think us being gay, we just kind of assumed.
Right. I mean, I could have swore they already came out as a couple. Like... I mean, what are they doing? Like, but the real diehard Dan and Phil stans from, like, the OG YouTube days get mad when you say, like, oh, I thought they came out 3 years ago. They're like, no, real fans know. They only came out and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, girl, we knew. We knew. Girl, it's like when Joey Graceffa came out. Like, girl, we knew.
I know. He did it. He's, like, all crying. He's like, this is such a big mood. And it's like...
Bitch. And then he released that fucking song, bitch.
No, that's how he came out. He released the song with that
Daniel Pereira, I think his name is.
Irrelevant guy.
Yeah. No. And then Shane Dawson came out, and whatever that little lesbian's name was, I forget her name.
I forget the
I
lesbian.
didn't pay much attention to the other folks, but like all the people just started coming out. It's crazy. But Dan and Phil, I thought we all just like knew they were dating, and I thought they had like officially announced it 3 years ago, so that kind of confused me. Is there any other pop culture things I wish to discuss? No. Besides, I'm seeing Sabrina Carpenter next week. Super excited to see the girl be one of the dolls in the Divas and see her on Friday, so I will have an update on next week's episode for our Sabrina Carpenter. And then the episode after that, we're going to Chicago soon, so we'll have some updates on that. And all sorts of things are in the works, okay? We're going to have all sorts of updates. Spooky month ended up not being as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
I don't know. Chicago. I'm exhausted.
I'm so tired, too. Maybe that's why it doesn't feel so crazy, because, like, we've just been tired this whole month.
Well, I think, like, it's been crazy. We haven't been doing things. We've been getting ready for things.
Yes, and the prep work can be more intense than the actual work.
Exactly, because, like, not when this comes out. When the episode comes out, it's going to be 2 weeks since, like, post live show. But for us, it's only a week after. But, like, for the couple of weeks beforehand, like, we were just living live show.
Right. Yeah. Maybe there'll be another live show soon. Maybe not. You gotta keep watching to find out. But until then,
let's drink.
Let's do it.
So I feel like we've been drinking a lot of reds recently.
Yeah, we do like a red.
I prefer a red, and I think we just fell into this rut where we're drinking the same wine every week.
I don't think it's a rut.
I could see, not for us, but I could see how, like, for, like, somebody watching, it could feel like a rut.
Right. Well, we can mix it up with whatever you...
Yeah, I made a concerted effort to do a white. This is Elk Cove Vineyards. And it is an estate Pinot Gris.
Some Pinot Gris with the bros.
Named for the elk herd that roams nearby, Elk Cove's 6 northern Willamette Valley vineyards range across a diversity of soil types, elevations, and viticultural areas. Through meticulous vineyard management, dry farming, and low yields, we grow the best fruit we possibly can. Our goal is to express the finest qualities of this rich, vibrant Pinot Gris. Family owned since 1974, 100% estate grown and sustainably farmed. I don't know where the Willamette Valley is.
Okay, unpopular opinion, but that was one of the most boring wine descriptions that we've had yet, I think.
Yeah.
That was really boring.
They either hit hard or they don't.
Yeah, that was very boring. That was like reading like a Wikipedia page about something.
Yeah. Anyways... That was a pretty good crack. Ooh, smells nice. Citrusy.
Oh, I miss citrus.
Sorry, that was a big pour.
That's
I zoned
fine.
out. I was thinking about we have to invite Citrus on again soon.
We'll get Citrus
It's been
back
nearly
on the pod.
a year since she's been on last.
Yeah, we'll get Citrus back on the pod.
All right, ready?
Cheers.
Cheers. That's nice.
That's very nice. That's very good. That's one of the better Pinot Grigios I've had, actually.
No, it's not Pinot Grigio. It's Pinot Gris.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
Either way, she's good. This wine...
I just remember we like this one and we don't particularly like Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio
Or is it Sauvignon
drier.
Blanc we don't like?
I like Sauvignon Blanc, I think. Oh, maybe I don't. I don't know. Who knows anymore?
And you don't like her Chardonnay, do you?
Not really,
Okay.
no.
Because it was between this and a Chardonnay, and I thought you said you didn't like Chardonnay, so I went with this.
No, this is good. This is nice.
Yeah.
I could drink that whole bottle. That's nice.
It's a nice, very light, crisp,
Mm-hmm.
fresh, very clean tasting.
I'm going to give this 4.5 grapes.
I'm going to give it 5.
Yeah, this is a really good wine. Y'all need to get up in this wine. Take this to the dinner party. And if anyone gives you shit for having a screw top wine, have them taste it. Because for a screw top, that shit's good. I've had worse cork wines.
I'm seeing more and more screw tops in the liquor store. I think it's like an environmental thing because like it's hard to make cork.
Cork's made out of wood?
Yes.
Ooh, I got some wood for the audience.
Not that kind of podcast.
Wow, not even a giggle.
Not that kind of podcast.
It's gonna be a dry one, y'all.
No, I hope not. I hope you make lots of jokes this episode. My notes are kind of short.
Oh,
I was tired this week. But anyways, hopefully this is a good episode. Let me tell you a story, Paul.
Let's get into it.
You arrive at the Grand Hotel high up in the mountains. You're ready for a relaxing stay, enjoying the crisp, fresh air and sunshine, which has been drawing guests for years. You're shown into your room and step into the bathroom to freshen up. Returning to your room, you can't find your phone. You could swear you left it on the bedside table. Looking around, you realize your suitcase is no longer on the bed, but now by the door. Just as you're questioning yourself, you spot a maid in the corner of the room. Your relief is short-lived as you take in her old-fashioned uniform. And then you realize she's completely transparent. This isn't a maid. This is a ghost. Today we're discussing the infamous Stanley Hotel.
Ooh, not to be confused with the Flat Stanley Hotel.
Exactly.
That was modeled after DJ's ass.
I'm gonna let that one slide.
Do you know Flat Stanley?
I do know Flat Stanley.
I feel like everyone read that book in second grade.
Yes, in second grade. Did you do the Flat Stanley project?
I think so. It sounds familiar.
In the book, Flat Stanley mailed himself to his grandma, and so you like drew a Flat Stanley, and then you sent it off to a relative, and they would like send Stanley back with like an account of what they did.
They were training kids young to ship people back and forth. Mail order bride training.
Human trafficking.
Yes, they were training
Baby's
the kids
first human trafficking.
Flat Stanley encourages human trafficking. Tell your friends. Tell the people. Do you think we're going to get canceled for that one?
We might.
Well, I guess we'll see. No one fucking watches, so who cares?
Paul, don't tell them that. They don't know. Okay, anyways. Let's get right into it. In 1903, Freeland Oscar Stanley, who was co-founder of the Stanley Steam Motor Company, came down with a very bad case of tuberculosis, which was proving to be near fatal. First of all, the Stanley Steam Motor Company created steam-powered cars, which were colloquially known as Stanley Steamers.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Exactly.
You're welcome. Wait, Is that the same company, really?
I don't know.
Oh,
We're going to say yes.
Period.
We're going to say yes. This is Stanley Steamers.
Yes.
Also, you know tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lung disease, and you can cough off blood, and like you can't breathe, and
the bark, if you will.
Yes, I was like, what do you mean? Sometimes it's called consumption because your tummy will start to swell, like you've been consuming a lot of food.
We're keeping the jokes to ourselves because I've been really mean.
You have been very mean to me the past couple weeks.
Yes.
Anyways, on the advice of his doctors, he left his home in Maine to head west for a cure of warm, dry, fresh air and sunlight. Something Paul could use.
Honestly. And I think it is interesting, like, back in the day, they would be like, go outside and touch grass, you'll feel better, because sometimes it does work.
Yes.
Like, nature makes you feel, like, energized and revived and things.
My freshman year of college, my first spring break, I came back down with, like, a terrible, terrible flu. And, like, after spending days in bed, like, my grandparents forced me to, like, go sit outside in the sunshine for a while, and it did help.
It's kind of interesting. I would think they'd be used to you just like laying in bed for as much time as you spend on your back in one. But usually there's someone else in there when that happens.
I thought about chugging that entire glass and then I thought, no, we have self-control.
Well, actually, I could have made that joke a lot worse. At least I said you were getting laid all the time.
I know. Anyways, Stanley and his wife, Laura, went to Denver, which was actually a pretty big city at the time. So they moved on to Estes Park, Colorado, which was pretty high up in...
Sorry, I didn't mean to look like excited, but I was excited when I heard that because when I was living in the community in Colorado, the spiritual community I lived in, it was near Estes Park.
Oh, so you can talk... So tell us about the region.
The region...
Like the landscape. Like, what's it look like there?
What's really interesting is, like... So I was living down in the deserty area, right? So what's interesting about Colorado is you're down in the desert, and then as you climb up in the mountains, there's more trees, more wildlife, more nature. I would say it's more beautiful up in the mountains where Estes Park is, because there's more nature, there's more trees, it's not as dry. Yeah, it's colder up there, but as you climb the mountain, it gets so much more beautiful.
Yeah, and even though it's not as dry as the desert, up there the air is drier than here in Pittsburgh, which is mountainous, but we have very wet air.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about living out there is, like, the dryness and the wildfires and shit.
Yeah. I will say I do like a dry heat. Like the sauna, like a dry sauna.
I can vibe with that. I can rock with that. Humidity is gross, so I get that for sure.
So the land where Estes Park was originally a place where the local Arapacho tribe, please forgive me if I said that wrong, lived during the summers, and they called it the Circle.
The Circle. Okay, that's spooky. Right? I like that.
And they had this land for a really long time because the whites wouldn't stay there. They would pass through, like, trappers and traders. They'd pass through the area, but they never really settled in it. Until 1859, when Joel Estes from Missouri set up a white settlement here.
That's crazy. Sorry to laugh, but it's just so wild. Like, you calling it a white settlement, which probably was all white people, but...
I mean, there were probably, like, some... It was set up by white people, for white people, and even if there were people of color there, it wasn't necessarily set up for them.
Right.
Kind of like Philadelphia.
Right. And also, so far, this story is taking me back to Alfred Packer, where, like, the white people would, like, going west, would just pass through the native lands and not stay there.
For a while, and then they would decide, you know what, this is pretty nice. And I think it's because the natives didn't live here full time. Because I think white people, as they went through, would kind of, like, take hints off of the local tribes. Like, if they had a settlement there, that would, like, we have to build a settlement here. Like, this must be, like, good, viable land.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If you see them living there and they're having a good time, I mean, that's probably where you want to be, too.
If they're living here, then let's steal it and build a community over top of it.
And that's exactly what they did. They committed atrocities, and here we are.
Exactly. And so... It was just like a small rural mountain community, like prospectors, traders, like nothing fancy. Until 1873, listen to this name, Wyndham Thomas Wyndham Quinn.
That's his whole name?
That's his whole name. His first name is Wyndham. His middle name is Thomas. And his last name is Wyndham Quinn. And the two Wyndhams are spelled differently. His first name is Wyndham, Windham. His last name is Wyndham, Windham.
Windham.
Yes.
I used to hook up with a guy whose last name was Oldham, and I thought that was hilarious.
Was it Oldham or was it Oldham?
It was pronounced Oldham, but spelled Oldham.
Yeah.
He didn't like it when I called him Oldham, but...
Was he old?
No. Okay. No.
What was... Oh, I guess I was going to say, what's his first name, but we can't dox him on the podcast.
I can beep it out. His name was... Yeah.
Oldham.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many bleeps here. So, Wyndham was the 4th Earl of Dunraven and Mount Earl. He was an Anglo-Irish peer, which means that, like, the title was Irish, but, like, his family was English. He was an English lord.
Was he in Ireland or England?
In Ireland. This is when England owned Ireland.
Okay, that makes
More
sense.
white people subjugating another race. However, that was white people subjugating white people, which is still not right.
Exactly.
No one should be oppressed.
Period. You heard it here first, folks.
But he attempted to claim the entire Estes Valley as his own through a loophole in the Homestead Act. And he was going to create his own private game reserve for hunting.
He was trying to make his own private Idaho, if you will.
Yeah. Except I don't think that's what Private Idaho's about.
He was trying to get railed by a bunch of masculine pioneer men.
Well, Lord Dunraven did get railed, but not by the pioneer men, but by the law, because the loophole where he claimed the valley actually didn't work, and he ended up only being able to buy 6,000 acres.
Oh no.
Which apparently he decided was not enough for his private game reserve.
Bitch, how many acres do you freaking need?
I don't know. Ask him. Let's get the Ouija board. Let's ask him.
That's so much land.
I know. But apparently it wasn't enough. You know how the English are.
Always wanting more.
Yeah. Which is why on Grindr I'm going to put looking for marriage. Only serious inquiries welcome.
The land.
Honey, the land.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, he did manage to build the first hotel in the area, which he called the Estes Park Hotel. But, like, by 1880, he, like, left because the locals hated him that much. And so he still owned this 6,000 acres, but, like, he went back to England and just didn't try anymore.
That's so interesting. I wonder, like, he had to have someone, like, running the land for him.
Yeah, he did. He did. He had a ranch on there, like, where he, like, raised cattle, but, like, everything was administered by, like, lawyers and, like, estate agents.
Interesting. Okay, let's get to the hotel.
Yes. Okay, so that's what Estes Park is like when Stanley arrived. And he actually recovered super quick. By the end of the summer, his tuberculosis was gone, and when he stepped off the train in Estes Park, he was 118 pounds, and he managed to gain like 50 while he was there.
Oh my gosh.
Like back to his like regular weight.
118 is tiny too.
It is. I was 118 for a long time. I miss it. Anyways. So because he recovered there and because he was so moved by the beautiful landscape of Estes Park, he decided that him and his wife were going to build a summer home there where they would spend their summers going forward. And there was like other like people who are like building little summer homes there. But he really quickly grew tired of the rustic accommodations, the lazy pastimes. It was a lot of just like sitting outside and sunning yourself. And the relaxed social scene. His wife, who was a high society lady back home in Maine, was rubbing elbows with the local saloon girl at the local restaurant. And he didn't like this because it's the 1900s, and I mean...
She was a common whore.
Yeah.
She said, whore!
Whore! I wonder how Augusta Gein is.
Dead.
Do you think she ever made it to heaven?
Probably not.
Good. So, in 1907, F.O. Stanley began construction on a grand 48-room hotel to cater to the wealthy from the East Coast, as well as those suffering from tuberculosis. Oh. Remember, that's what brought him out originally. He purchased the land for the resort from Lord Dunraven and announced he planned to name the new hotel the Dunraven in gratitude. However, Lord Dunraven was so hated by the locals that They presented Stanley with a petition of 180 signatures, which was basically the entire town, asking Stanley to instead name the hotel after himself. Can you imagine that you hate the guy who's been here for 30 years so much that you ask this newcomer, please name it after yourself? Anything but him.
That's crazy.
Which reminds me, are you still welcome at family reunions? Because that sounds a lot like family reunions for you.
No, I haven't been to one in years.
Yeah. You show up and everyone's like, get out of here. You're not welcome after what you did with that jar of mayonnaise last time.
Have you seen that TikTok of that little
Joni?
boy?
Wait, what?
The TikTok of the little boy, and he says, I do PG-13 things with jars of mayo.
No!
And he was, like, live on the news.
Oh,
they asked
God,
him about,
no.
like, some drive-by or something, and he said, out of nowhere, sometimes I do PG-13 things with jars of mayonnaise. It was the funniest thing. I was cracking up at work.
I'm gonna have to see this. But it's like that news clip of that woman. It's like, I know the vacuum cleaner man. He's seen my tits.
Yes,
I know you're
that.
gonna cut this, but I'm telling you the truth. Like, I don't lie. This is who I am. I want to know why the vacuum cleaner man saw her tits.
Hey, maybe she was into it. You know, she wanted the vacuum cleaner man.
Okay, do you know who Carol Burnett is?
Yeah.
And you know, like, she, like, had, like, a sketch comedy show back before SNL.
Yeah.
But there's one where she plays, like, this dowdy woman, and a robber breaks in because he's running from the cops, and she sees him, and it's like, he's like, I'm hiding from the police. Look outside. Are there any police? And she's like, she's not even looking out the window, and she's like, the streets are swarming, and she's, like, so thirsty for a man. She basically ends up holding the robber hostage. That woman was giving that, like, just like the vacuum cleaner man comes up and she goes,
ooh, you want to see my little
and he's
birds?
like, please put him away, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
So, in 1909, 2 years after construction began, the hotel was completed and opened to the public. The location of the hotel was chosen for its vantage overlooking the Estes Valley and Long's Peak within what is now Rocky Mountain National Park. Upon opening in 1909, the hotel was alleged to be the first in the country to be fully electrified from the lights down to the kitchen appliances. To supply his hotel with power, Stanley led the construction of the Fall River hydro plant, which also brought electricity to the entire town of Estes Park.
Man, he had to have so much money. That's insane.
And listen to this. And, like, he is still loved in Estes Park to this day because all he did was charge the people of Estes Park for light bulbs, not for the electricity. And he gave the streets, like, lampposts for free.
He's like a modern day Nikola Tesla. Good for him. I like that.
Well, he was Nikola Tesla was, like, alive at the same time as F.O. Stanley.
Well, then, I guess he was a back-in-the-day Nikola Tesla. I don't know what the fuck you want from me, DJ.
He was a back-in-the-day Princess Diana.
Princess Diana didn't do shit. Okay, let's be real. She didn't
Mother
do
Teresa, I don't know. Who does things for the poor?
shit. Nikola Tesla, he
Didn't do anything for the poor.
He was inventing electricity, so
He
he could...
didn't invent electricity. Everyone knows Ben Franklin invented electricity.
What did Nikola Tesla do again? He
Light
made the
bulbs?
Tesla coil, and he was gonna make free electricity for everyone.
He was gonna, but obviously he didn't succeed. You and I are still paying for electricity.
And that wasn't his fault. That was the man keeping him down, okay? That wasn't Nikola. Nikola was a man for the people, okay? We need to wake up here, sheeple.
Actually, fun fact. Nikola Tesla has ties to Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Because in the early days of electricity, it was Thomas Edison versus George Westinghouse, and Nikola Tesla worked for George Westinghouse, which was here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that was a great fact.
You're welcome.
If it sounded like I didn't care, I didn't.
I know. But maybe someone out there did.
I'm so tired of Pittsburgh facts. I've been hearing nothing from Pittsburgh for weeks, and I'm so tired of Pittsburgh.
I know. Now, every guest room in the hotel had a telephone, and every pair of rooms shared an ensuite bathroom with running water.
Ooh.
That was something that the people of Colorado did not have before then, I'm sure. They were shitting in pots.
Yeah, they were shitting in the street, okay.
I'm sorry. It's just like people go to like the Palace of Versailles in Paris today and they're like, ooh, beautiful Marie Antoinette. And then you realize they had no bathrooms back then. And like the thing was you just go in a corner, squat and shit.
Right. You go in a bucket if there was a bucket.
If there was a bucket, if not, you just found a corner and hope the king didn't come to talk to you where you're shitting.
Oh my gosh. I am so glad I was born in this modern day.
Me too.
Oh my god, what would I do without a McChicken?
The building was built in the colonial revival style, and it evokes the historical architecture of New England, where Stanley was from. But the form and layout of the hotel was designed to accommodate contemporary notions of hygiene and comfort. It should be noted that the style of the hotel contrasts sharply with the rustic style used for other hotels in Estes Park, both before and after it was built. But it was not an uncommon choice for a hotel of the size and quality in that time period. He was trying to attract those Easterners. Originally, the hotel was painted a white or a yellow ochre color, which is like a browny yellow, with white accents and trim. This would later be changed. The design was influenced by Dr. Sherman Grant Bonney of the University of Denver, who was a contemporary expert in the treatment of tuberculosis. The Stanley's Estes Park summer home is illustrated in Bonney's book, Pulmonary Tuberculosis, published while the hotel was still under construction, and Stanley himself is acknowledged in the preface for his, quote, interest in efficiency in connection with the photographic illustrations.
I bet it's every architect's dream to be in that tuberculosis book.
Right? Now, the hotel was constructed with no central heating or ventilation system, but was designed to allow for natural airflow. Because remember, people, like, the point of this was coming for, like, the fresh air to cure the tuberculosis.
I like that. That's interesting.
And because it was high up in the mountains, they didn't have a train station to bring guests. They had, the nearest train station was in the foothills town of Lyons. So Stanley built a fleet of specially designed steam-powered vehicles called mountain wagons that seated multiple passengers to bring them from the train station to the hotel.
Honestly, it's like blowing my mind how much he is putting into just this hotel, because he's not just building this hotel, he's building the train to get the people there, steam powered,
and
whatever.
He's basically building a town.
Exactly. It's insane. How much money is going into this is insane.
Now remember that. The hotel did not operate yearly, but rather annually during summers and would close down during the winters due to the harsh weather conditions. However, there was one structure on the property. It's a smaller hotel. It's now called the Lodge, but it was originally called it's been called both the Lodge and the Manor. One of those is the original name, one of those is the modern name. It was originally called the Manor. It is now called the Lodge.
Okay.
And it was, from the time of construction, it was built with central heating. So that might have been like Stanley's idea of like welcoming winter guests who like would ski and such, but it never got off the ground.
Okay.
He didn't really invest in the winter part. The hotel was an instant success. Its traditional style and modern to then comforts led to visitors from across the country to the resort and was a boom to the economy of the town of Estes Parks. The resort contains 11 contributing structures, including the main hotel, the concert hall, a carriage house where the mountain wagons were housed, the manager's cottage, a gatehouse, and the lodge, a smaller bed and breakfast originally called the manor house.
Okay.
Okay, see, I should have just kept reading.
It's okay. I do the same thing.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Actually, just months after opening, FO Stanley actually passed out because he was watching the installation of, like, a gas, like, what was it? Like a gas generator in one of the buildings. And the fumes from the gasoline were so overwhelming, he passed out. Which is really funny because he was actually a huge advocate against using gasoline in cars. Remember, he had a steam car company.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And so it's kind of ironic that, like, he passed out due to inhaling so much gas, and that's what he was fighting against.
I kind of like the smell of gas.
Well, he was, like, in a room, like, that was filled with gasoline, so it was, like, a little overwhelming.
Right. No, you got it.
And a flood actually knocked out the hydroelectric plant, which created electricity for the hotel. So Stanley decided that they were going to install an auxiliary gas lighting system, much like in my last relationship. Gas lighting.
Oh, okay. Aha! You got him!
On June 25th, 1911, the system was finished and the gas pipes were filled to allow for it to function. Well...
Sorry, I'm laughing at the gaslighting joke.
I love how you didn't get it initially, and now you find it the funniest thing.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, we're good.
To my last boyfriend, if you're watching this, I hope you're okay.
And we'll see you in Chicago soon.
Not that one. I've had one after that one.
Wait.
Bleep that out.
T.
He gaslit me because he was like, yeah, like, I'm fine being exclusive and not putting a label on it. And then, like, 3 weeks later broke up with me because I wanted too much.
And here we are today, kids.
Anyways, on June 25th, when the pipes were filled to allow for it to function, a maid named Elizabeth Wilson went into room 217. And she went to... at the time, you would, like, carry a candle when the lights were out. And so she walked in with a lit candle, not realizing that accidentally the gas had been left on in that room. When all of a sudden, the entire room exploded. It destroyed the entire west wing of the hotel. A total of 10% of the hotel was damaged or destroyed from this explosion, which was caused by the buildup of gas pressure in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, for her part, was thrown through the floor into the dining room below, breaking both of her ankles and injuring 7 waiters.
That's kind of like...
She was thrown through the waiters. I kind of imagine, like, waiter bowling, where she's the bowling ball and they're set up. But also a bathtub was thrown several stories into the air by the explosion. So it was a really big explosion.
That's crazy.
But somehow Elizabeth survived. There were no fatalities from this explosion.
That's actually crazy that no one died.
I think because everyone was in the dining room and she just happened to, like, take out the waiters.
That's so funny. Bitch, just that bitch flying through the floor. Girl, that's so crazy.
No, just...
That's wild.
And you know, back then, all those rich people, did you see something? Oh, it was a maid. I didn't see anything. Because, like, you wouldn't pay attention to servants.
Oh.
Following her recovery, which was paid for by Stanley himself, she returned to the hotel and was made head chambermaid and served in that position until she retired.
Good for her. She stuck with it, and I appreciate that. That's loyalty.
Right?
After getting blown the fuck up, she stuck with that shit.
Was she blown up, or was she just blown away?
Or was she just blown?
I don't think she was blown. If she retired as a maid, she didn't get blown. Unless... What if it was a secret brothel? What if she was blowing all the rich men?
Like you said, if she was, she probably wouldn't have retired as a maid. Maybe if she did a little more blowing, she would have had some of that money that was coming through.
Anyways, Stanley continued to personally oversee the hotel, but was distracted. While running the hotel, he gave a great deal of money and land to Estes Park, which was incorporated into an official town in 1917. Stanley would serve on many boards, seeing to the construction and expansion of the town, and even be the first president of the Estes Park Bank.
Ooh.
He would also finance a campaign for the establishment of the Rocky Mountain National Park, whose headquarters are located in the town. Meanwhile, he was running his hotel like it was a part-time hobby and openly admitted he spent more on it each year than he made. Remember you said earlier about how much money he was spending on it? Yeah. There's only 48 rooms.
There's like...
So, if there's 2 people to a room, what's 48 times 2? 106?
Sure.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
96? 106?
Bitch,
Something like that.
I didn't go to school.
But roughly 100 people can only stay in here at a time.
It's 96, you're right.
It's 96. Only 96 people can stay in this hotel at a time.
And that's when it's booked full, too.
And that's when it's booked full. Which, how often is this thing getting booked full?
Exactly.
So, in 1926, he sold the hotel to a private company he himself established to run it.
It sounds like what insider trading. That doesn't sound like it should be legal to me.
Well, it's not, because what he basically did was, rather than being the sole owner and proprietor, he established a company. So it was like the Stanley Hotel Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be like, he would have stockholders and like a board to like oversee the running. Mm-hmm. However, it didn't work out. It failed within 3 years, and he was forced to buy back his own hotel from foreclosure.
Damn, that's rough. Damn.
Right?
What a failure. Well, I can't say much, though.
And then a year later, he sold it to like somebody else, like for realsies. But him and his wife would continue to reside in their local mansion. And I'm sure like they continue to visit for the rest of their lives. Because his wife Flora actually died in their home in Estes Park in 1940. Now, in the 1930s, the hotel would be renovated. It would be modernized up to that point, and its interior would be painted the now very recognizable white.
Okay.
But despite this, it would pass through various owners for much of the rest of the century because, like I said, this is a part-time hotel. It's only open from spring till fall.
Right.
And it's with 11 different structures.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and
a lot of upkeep.
Yeah. Which brings us up to 1974, when then burgeoning author Stephen King and his wife Tabitha arrived at the Stanley on the day before it closed for the winter season. They found that the entire grand Gilded Age era hotel, with its long corridors and vast social halls, was empty and completely to themselves.
That'd be nice, having a whole hotel like that to yourself. That would be so nice.
It would be, but you also have to remember like how big this is. Like, it was designed with multiple huge social halls, like multiple ballrooms and like huge empty rooms.
Right.
And those rooms echo.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's something creepy about a big empty room.
I get it, yeah. I feel you.
And all those long corridors like reaching out into nowhere. They were served dinner in the grand dining room, where their table was the only one with chairs placed on top of it. And with only the sound, there was one housekeeper and one bartender, which was the only staff. And so they couldn't hear them, and the sound of pre-recorded classical music.
Okay, that would be a little eerie. Just the...
Both of them said it was like extremely creepy.
Right.
That night, King had a nightmare of his 3-year-old son screaming and running down the hotel hallways as a fire hose chased him before strangling him. He woke up, lit a cigarette, and sat in a chair looking out the window at the Rocky Mountains. He later said by the time he finished the cigarette, he had the entire story for what would become his classic, The Shining.
Ooh, red rum.
The room where he stayed was room 217, the one that blew up.
Oh, interesting.
Because coincidentally, that was one of the best rooms in the hotel, which also played host to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the Emperor and Empress of Japan.
Okay.
But like I said, because it was like the last day before closing, it was just like, yeah, just give them the fancy room for no extra charge.
Honestly, it makes sense.
And actually now so room 217 is now known as the Stephen King Suite. And in 2015, a hedge maze was installed in homage to Stanley Kubrick's film version of The Shining.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I saw the film for sure. Yeah, it's so interesting that like one piece of work like that can put a place on the map.
And it really did. It was kind of the saving grace for the hotel.
Right. And honestly, like, it is an eerie place from what it sounds like.
Like up in the mountains, like all alone, and like, especially like King's experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so one time when I was in high school, I went to a conference and we stayed in a hotel, and it was one of the hotels that wasn't like for the conference.
It was the Best Western. How devious!
It might have been the Best Western, actually. But a whole floor was like under renovation, and it was like taken down to the studs. And so me and my friends like went like urban exploring in the part of the hotel that we weren't supposed to be in. Oh no, it was a different part of our floor. Like, our rooms were the only rooms on the floor that weren't under construction. And then the hallway was just like plastic wrapped. And so like we went back there and like it was just like beams and electrical wiring and like exposed asbestos.
Interesting.
And that's when I developed asthma. Not really. I developed asthma after getting the swine flu.
Swine flu was like when we were in like elementary school.
I know. I don't know if it was just like natural, like I was always gonna get it, or if it was just like a lingering effect. But it was like, I just remember like not having it before and then after I had it. Like I said, I'm not saying swine flu caused the asthma. It just, I developed it after the swine flu.
Interesting. Okay.
That's a little piece of lore for all of you DJ fans out there. Put your dick away.
I know, these shorts are so short.
I know. Did they ever fit you?
It's crazy being the slutty one.
So with such a long and storied history, you can probably imagine that the hotel is haunted. And it is, despite the fact that nobody, like, there's only like one recorded death on the property.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with room 217, or the Stephen King Suite, which is reported to be one of the rooms most famously haunted, or the hotel's most famously haunted rooms. So Elizabeth, the maid, is often seen in this room. She is seen as mostly friendly, spending her time tidying the room, much as she had in life. However, she is not friendly if you are an unmarried couple.
Oh, she said whore!
Exactly. So, if you're an unmarried couple and you stay in there, she's been known to pack the bags of the man and put them out in the hall to let them know that they're not welcome.
Right. And don't even try to play marriage, because, trust and believe, she's got those legal documents ready, okay?
She knows.
She has every state's documents, every legal document of marriage. She's got that shit, and she knows whether you're married or not. She's like the Santa Claus of unwed whores.
I'm sorry, I thought of something really bad.
What?
We're probably gonna have to cut this, but like, could you imagine how she'd be around an odd-wed mother? I could just imagine her like just spending the whole night like going down and being like, "It's like a tunnel in here," to the vagina.
Mm-hmm. What does that have to do with the unwed mother?
Like making fun of her for not being a virgin, and
okay, I got you.
as they did back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tunnel. I could ram a Stanley steamer through here.
I thought you were gonna make an abortion joke.
No.
And she's like hinting at abortion, like, hey, you already committed one sin, what's another?
I have a knitting needle right here.
Yeah, there's some coat racks. You have options.
Oh, Jesus. Um, Jim Carrey, the actor, requested to stay in this room during the filming of Dumb and Dumber Nearby, but he only lasted 3 hours before fleeing in terror. To this day, he refuses to speak of what happened in the room that night.
Girl, it couldn't have been that bad. Girl.
I know, because we literally watched Lucas and Jacob stay there, and it was nothing.
Right. It's literally littered with YouTubers, just like that fucking Queen Mary boat, littered with influencers.
Right? So next up on our tour of the Stanley is the 101-foot wide lobby and a staircase, which is said to have a vortex created by mirrors facing one another. This vortex allows spirits who were happiest at the Stanley to continue to stay there in the afterlife. However, it also acts as a portal to hell, spitting out confused and desolate souls. I'm Zach Bagelbites.
There's always a freaking vortex, I swear.
Yeah,
Literally.
it's kind of that, it's part of like the paranormal tourism.
Yeah. Like, literally, every other episode of Ghost Adventures, they're talking about, oh, there's a vortex here, there's a vortex there.
I will say that I don't doubt that there are a lot of like I don't doubt that there's the potential for there to be like many vortexes.
Right.
But one thing I'll say is there aren't many portals to hell, and it is good to note that every portal to hell has to be a vortex, but not every vortex has to be a portal to hell.
Right. You could go through one, end up at the Wendy's,
Exactly.
the Chick-fil-A. You could end up...
I wish. Oh my god, do you know how nice it'd be to be able to just walk through a vortex and like not have to wait for the DoorDash man?
Honestly.
And when I say the DoorDash man, I mean that in like the most gender neutral way, because like I don't care if you're a man, woman, or child. If you're delivering my DoorDash, you're the DoorDash man.
It's like saying bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like getting a bro job from your girlfriend.
Or the pizza delivery guy. Like, you could be a woman, but you're still the pizza delivery guy.
Okay, well, hope that one doesn't get us canceled.
Anyways.
Wait, no, I'm not done talking about the vortexes. Because honestly, the vortex things, it's like, girl, it's kind of tired. I feel like, I mean, they said the same thing about her Ballmeister's pool. Like, there's always a vortex, and I feel like some random medium probably just went in there and was like, oh, this is a vortex. And I feel like...
Well, like I said, they do say that anytime you face two mirrors against one another, it creates a vortex.
Yeah, I have heard that also, and I do believe that, because I do think there's something, like, spiritual and weird about mirrors and everything. I don't know. I feel like it is, like, kind of an easy cop-out to say it's, like, a vortex or something.
Like I said, I think, like, it's very easy to say, like, okay, this is a vortex, and I think it's good to note that, like, it's not a natural vortex. It was created by... And also, you have to remember that this hotel was built with the intention of having no central air or heating, and just to allow natural airflow through it.
Yeah.
So that could also have something to do with the conduits of spirits moving through.
Yeah, the free flowing of energy and everything. I do that. I do get that for sure. Sure.
And it could just be that the staircase is like a centralized point, which means that all the energy is meeting there, and so it's creating a vortex that way. I'm not saying it's a natural vortex, which most places you hear, it's like, this is a natural vortex. It's been here since, like, before time began.
Yeah, I mean, that it's an easy thing to say. Like, everyone knows what it is. It's spooky. It's like a portal to the other side.
It's like the Warrens and demons.
Right.
Everything is a demon.
Exactly. It's an easy cop-out. And if you, like, hire a medium and they tell you, oh, there's a vortex, I would suggest investing in a large and getting the real tea.
Exactly. Now, room 407 is host to a ghost of a mischievous Irishman. It's not known if he was like an early pioneer who passed through the area, or if he was perhaps like a craftsman who was like involved in the construction of the hotel. But he enjoys playing harmless pranks like tugging at blankets while you're sleeping and moving objects around the room.
Okay.
I too am a mischievous Irishman.
You're not fucking Irish.
A little bit.
Girl, you ain't no goddamn Irish.
A little. I mean, my family went over to Ireland in the 1300s, and like just because they paid homage to the English kings.
Girl, it's giving. I'm 1/16 Native American on my grandmother's side. It's a reach.
I mean, they did live in Ireland, unlike a lot of like people who claim to be Anglo-Irish. How many centuries does your family have to live in Ireland before you're like considered Irish?
I don't fucking know.
Anyways, also on the fourth floor is the sound of children playing and laughing, Paul's greatest fear in life.
Yes.
Paul hates a happy child.
I hate children in general, so.
I know. During the early years of the hotel, the fourth floor was reserved for guest children and their nannies. So that's why they're like sounded up there.
Mm-hmm.
They're sounding up there. F.O. Stanley is often seen walking the grounds and public rooms of the hotel, inspecting everything to make sure it's up to standard. His reflection is often seen in mirrors. So, like, you're looking in a mirror and you see, like, this old guy behind you and you turn around and he's not there.
That'd be scary. That's, like, straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah, but he's, like, nice and benevolent.
Mm-hmm.
Because Freeland Stanley is a very nice man. Like, everything that he did do for, like, Estes Park and even, like, back out east, like, his main goal is, like, building schools.
Right.
His wife, Flora, is often spotted in the music room, which was said to be her favorite in the hotel. She was super passionate about classical music. To this day, there is a Steinway piano that is in that room, and it is said that the lid will slam shut on the fingers of those who don't ask her permission to play it. Which, me too.
You two what?
If somebody tried to play my piano without asking my permission, I'd slam the lid shut on their fingers.
Consent is key.
Exactly. Don't be fingering my ivories without permission.
That was a good one.
Thank
I like
you.
that. Don't be fingering my ivories.
And the thing is, it sounds like a euphemism, but it's just another way of saying it's a euphemism for playing the piano.
I was fingering the ivories last night.
You're gonna.
The neighbors made me stop because it was too loud.
This is gonna be your new your new thing. You're gonna be walking. You're gonna walk up to a guy in a bar and go, "Can I finger your ivory?
Oh my!
Your
God.
ivories."
Fingering the ivories is crazy.
Room 428 is home to a silent cowboy who sits on the edge of the bed or in the corner and watches guests sleep. It is said that it might be the ghost of Rocky Mountain Jim, who was a...
What do y'all know about Rocky Mountain Jim?
Rocky Mountain Jim! He was like...
I love that.
Depending on the source, Rocky Mountain Jim was either like a notorious outlaw or like a mountain guide. But it's said that he's, like, very, like, it's very chill and affectionate. And, like, the worst thing that happens is, like, women will feel him kiss their forehead as they lay in bed. Which is creepy because, like, you shouldn't be kissing anyone, like, wherever unless you have their consent. But also it's, like, seems to be, like, very, like, he's very protective.
Rocky Mountain Jim. I like that.
Rocky Mountain Jim. And one of the other most haunted spots on the property is the concert hall. Freeland built the hall in the style of the Boston Symphony Hall for his wife, who loved classical music, and the Boston Symphony Hall was one of her favorite places to go. But by the 1990s, long after its glittering debut, the hall was disused and fell into disrepair to the point where there was a huge hole in the ceiling.
Oh.
Through the hole, a displaced woman named Lucy crawled in, and she made her home in the empty building.
She was squatting in the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah, she was just squatting in there.
That's... I love that. That's cool.
And she had a very happy life there until the hotel was sold in 1996 to new owners, and she was turned out. She was forced to roam the town of Estes Park till she froze to death in the frigid Colorado winter.
That's rough. That's awful. Oh my god.
Like I said, she was a displaced person.
That's crazy. And it makes me wonder how she survived the winters in the building when she was squatting. Because, like, was it abandoned?
Yeah, but it's very easy, like, in a building to, like, find a place and, like, make it warm.
I Okay, I got you there.
Where, like, when you're just, like, out in the open.
Exposed to the elements. That
Yeah.
makes sense, yeah.
But it is said that her spirit returned to the Stanley and she took up residence in the concert hall again, and she will open and close doors and whisper to people to make her presence known.
Okay.
Also in the concert hall are the spirits of two different handymen, Paul and Edward. Not you, Paul. Nothing.
Sorry, I
Okay.
couldn't come up with the joke. I'm sorry.
Okay. Paul died of a heart attack that he suffered at the Stanley, but he did not die at the Stanley. He died in the car on the ride to the hospital of a second heart attack. And his spirit has returned, and he now often tells people to get out and is furious with late night wanderers because while he was alive, his job was enforcing the 11 p.m. curfew in the hotel.
Oh. See, I don't like a hotel having a curfew. I'm going to come back to my room when I want to, okay? I don't like that.
It was mostly like the public rooms closed at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, okay.
So, in the concert hall was a public room.
Right, okay, that makes more sense. All right, I got you there.
Edward, the other handyman, is far more aggressive and he will beat on walls and pipes to scare people out of his space. I have something else he can beat. But only if it's Edward Cullen from Twilight.
Period. You need someone to bang those pipes.
Oh, I need my pipes banged.
Your pipe what?
I need my pipes banged.
Spanged?
Banged.
Banged. Pipes banged. Okay. I thought you were saying spanked, and I was like, what the fuck is he saying?
No. The spirit of Lord Dunraven also roams the property, and if he runs into the spirit of Rocky Mountain Jim, the two will fight because Rocky Mountain Jim was one of the loudest voices opposing Lord Dunraven's land grab, and he was actually shot in the head for his opposition.
I want to be friends with Rocky Mountain Jim. That is such an iconic name. He sounds so freaking cool. I want to be friends with Rocky Mountain Jim. You're probably homophobic as shit, but...
I don't know. I've seen Brokeback Mountain.
You think Rocky Mountain... Well, yeah, if you have a name like Rocky Mountain Jim, you're about the pageantry, you're about the girls, so... Maybe Rocky Mountain Jim was finger swimming in a few boys in his time.
Maybe. But that is the Stanley Hotel.
Interesting.
Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your feelings. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets.
So, average ghost stories for sure.
Yes.
And... to me, it seems like a lot of the ghost stories did pop up after Stephen King came there. So part of me thinks like maybe there's some power of suggestion there since it was like a pulp cultural phenomenon.
It's definitely the power of suggestion with this one because a lot of these stories weren't reported until after the 1970s when Stephen King wrote The Shining. And now I will say Stephen King did say that the Overlook Hotel in The Shining was not based on any one hotel, but he has been very open that he did come up with it at the Stanley.
Right. Now, I will say two things adding to the hauntings for me, making them more believable, is that, like, they're based on local figures that people knew. Like, that girl who, like, broke in and was squatting. Yeah. Like, she was a real person. Rocky Mountain Jim being a real person.
And that's why I focused on those and not so much on the vortex, because, like, apparently, like, spirits are being spit out all the time, but, like, that just sounds like...
Right.
Something that mediums say.
I mean, those hauntings sound very valid to me, honestly. Like, I know I said the thing about power of suggestion, but those hauntings sound valid to me.
And
like they
Freedom actually... Stanley and his wife.
Right.
Because, I mean, they must have loved it if they poured so much time and effort into it.
Exactly.
20 years of their lives they poured into it.
So I would definitely believe they were haunting that for sure. And I will say, being in Colorado, there is something, like, mystical about those lands. There's an energy there.
Yes,
for sure.
There's definitely an energy in Colorado, and I didn't get as much into this, but apparently at one time they said there was like some kind of mineral in the dirt that's very conducive to like spiritual activity. But actually, like in 2015, somebody did go in and they like tested the dirt, and that mineral wasn't in it.
That's really interesting. I don't know. There's something like spiritual and magical about the land in Colorado, and I can say that as someone who's been there and stuff. And also,
not like to. I'm not trying to get away from that, but I'm saying like like how sandstone and granite is described as being like conduits for spiritual activity.
yeah.
They were saying like something like that was in the dirt, and it's not. But it doesn't have to be in the dirt for like there to be like, and I mean. Your spiritual community was very nearby, you said.
It was, yeah.
So if a spiritual community is setting up near Estes Park, then that must mean that the land in the area does have that special energy.
Yeah, and we're probably going to do like a series in the future about like my time in the community and everything.
A series?
Another interesting thing about that area is like the UFO activity, because when I was living in the community, people always talked about aliens and everything, and I actually like saw an alien, not saw an alien, but like saw like a UFO like while I was there at the drive-in movie theater while I was out in Colorado. There's like tons of like weird shit that happens out there.
I never knew you saw a UFO.
Yeah, I was at the drive-in movie theater and it was going across the sky, and my friend Brittany at the time was there. Well, it was like a community outing, so there was a couple people from the community there. And I saw, like, it was something going across the sky, and she was like, do you see how that's not, like, blinking? Airplane lights blink, and she said, that's not blinking. That's, like, a steady light going across the sky. That's, like, a UFO. It was crazy. Well, it wasn't that crazy, I guess, but...
Yeah, and I mean, the thing we have to remember at UFOs is UFO stands for unidentified flying object. So it doesn't strictly mean like alien spaceship.
Right. And there was another like
Sorry, not discounting your story at all.
No worries.
Just I know like every time like because I know now people are like using UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. And it's just like you have to remember that like while like the alien thing is taking over like UFOs as flying saucers, it's not.
That's true too. I do have another experience, but I'll save that for the episode where we actually cover, or series where we actually cover the spiritual community I was living in. And
maybe we'll do that in January.
Maybe, and uncover...
Like while we're doing our Sober January. I think Sober January would be a good time to do that.
Because there was some controversy about it with whether or not it was a cult and whatnot, so...
I know I've made jokes to you about it being a cult, but like it was just like in the nature of good fun, like, oh, you lived in a spiritual community in Colorado, like Jim Jones. But I never actually believed that.
Right. I probably wouldn't be here if it was a real cult.
Anyways, any other thoughts about the Stanley Hotel?
It's a very beautiful hotel, beautiful place. I say on a scale of haunted 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it like a 7 or 8. I do think it's probably haunted, for sure. I do think it's probably haunted.
Just for how old it is, and
Yeah, it's a cool place and a cultural phenomenon, so
I'm going to give it a solid 7.
And we're probably going to be one of those annoying influencer YouTubers there one day.
Probably.
Looking forward to
Hopefully.
it. Maybe one day I'll go back to the community on the way.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We hope that you have a spectacular Halloween that's coming up. We still have to decide if we're doing our annual Halloween bonus episode.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what
the girls are doing.
But thank you for listening. Please let us know your own thoughts. You connect with us through any of our social media listed below. If you have personal stories about the Stanley Hotel or anything else, email us. Email also linked below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you are listening. Paul, where can they find you? You can find me on my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, Paulember. And as usual, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno. And you can find me at The Real Deech Powers on Instagram and TikTok. And until next time, keep your grips tight. And your corks loose. Bye. Sweet doggy, that's some good chicken. Oh, I miss Hannah Montana.